Some homes don't fall apart with cracks or creaks. They simply stop feeling alive. The rooms go quiet, not in a peaceful way, but in that unsettling stillness you can't quite explain. You clean, you light candles, you rearrange furniture, but something still feels stuck. And if you felt that, a heaviness in the air, a sense that your home isn't on your side anymore, you're not imagining it. The energy in a house can drift, fade, or even turn against its own flow. And one of the biggest culprits, the calendar. That innocent square on your wall that you glance at every morning may be quietly shaping the way your home holds or loses energy. This isn't about superstition. It's about how visual anchors in your space affect the way time moves through your life. Hang a calendar in the wrong spot and you might feel like you're always catching up, losing grip, watching opportunities pass before they land. But move it to the right place and you'll notice how things begin to flow. Finances feel steadier, sleep deepens, plans stick. This video is not just about where to hang your calendar. It's about how to read the energy of your home and correct what's been slowly draining it. Because yes, one small detail where that calendar sits can either echo loss or invite balance back in. And if your home has felt off lately, not in a dramatic way, but in those subtle, hard-to-name shifts, this might just be the first quiet rescue it needs. Let's begin. Part 1, signs your house is quietly losing energy. You won't hear an alarm. There's no creaking beam or leaky pipe to warn you. But slowly, silently, your home can begin to lose its energy and take yours with it. Not in ways that make the headlines of your life, but in the details that accumulate like dust on a forgotten shelf. You wake up more tired even after a full night's rest. The air feels heavier, like it's not quite moving. You find yourself avoiding certain corners, certain chairs, and you don't know why. Small things keep slipping, appointments, items, moods. The house is clean, functional, safe, and yet something feels off, not wrong, just flat. We talk a lot about burnout in our personal lives, overwork, stress, emotional fatigue. But homes burn out too. They absorb the pace we live in, the conversations we carry, the clutter we ignore. And when the home stops circulating energy well, everything else begins to drag. You might start snapping at loved ones over minor things, or you stop cooking in the kitchen, not because you're busy, but because the space feels cold and disconnected. You might avoid your bedroom during the day or leave lights on longer than usual just to keep the place from feeling dim. These aren't dramatic red flags. They are whispers, but if you've lived in your home long enough, you can feel the shift even if you can't explain it. Some people try to fix it by redecorating. Others start decluttering obsessively. Some move furniture, burn candles, buy new throw pillows, hoping something will freshen up the space. But what they're actually craving isn't aesthetic, it's energy. A sense that the home breathes with them again, that it holds them, supports them, uplifts them. And when that feeling is gone, even the most beautifully designed house can feel hollow. Often the shift starts in invisible ways. You feel stuck in projects you once loved. Bills seem to pile up faster. The fridge is full, but no one wants to cook. Time passes, but nothing seems to move forward. Like something is buffering behind the scenes. That's energy loss, not dramatic, but steady. And it takes a toll on your emotions, your motivation, even your memory. You forget why you walked into a room. You can't focus the way you used to. Even joy feels like something you have to schedule. This doesn't mean your home is haunted. It means your home has fallen out of alignment with you. Homes have energy patterns just like people. They carry rhythm, flow, and memory. And when the spaces we live in become energetically blocked, when objects are out of sync, when air doesn't move, when time piles up in the wrong corners, our lives mirror that same drag. A calendar placed in the wrong spot, for example, isn't just a piece of paper. It's a visual command center. It tells your mind how time is moving. If it's hung near the trash bin, you may unconsciously associate your days with waste, depletion, discard. If it's near the bedroom where you rest, it may create a constant low hum of urgency even when you're lying still. It seems small, but small things repeated daily shape atmosphere, and atmosphere shapes mood. Mood shapes action. Action shapes outcomes. What makes this even trickier is that we often adapt to these low-vibration environments without realizing it. We start settling. That's the word most people don't want to admit to. We settle for good enough, for tolerable, for maybe next season. We forget what it feels like to feel energized in our own space, to feel inspired walking into the living room, to feel connected while preparing dinner. We normalize the slow slide into energetic numbness, and that's how homes lose their heartbeat. But here's the thing, energy doesn't just disappear, it redistributes. If it's not flowing freely, it's stuck somewhere, pooled in the wrong corners, tangled in forgotten objects, trapped behind routines that no longer serve you. That's why your efforts to declutter or redecorate may bring short bursts of relief, but no lasting shift. Because until the energy flow is recalibrated, the home remains out of rhythm. So what can you look for? Pay attention to the places you avoid without realizing it. Is there a chair no one sits in? A hallway you rush through? A room that always feels colder or dimmer than the rest? Watch how people move. Do conversations gather in one space but die in another? Does the kitchen feel alive or like a waiting room? Is your desk an area of focus or distraction? Now ask yourself, where's the calendar? Where is time being placed in your home? What wall have you handed your attention to day after day, week after week? Because in Feng Shui, the calendar doesn't just mark time, it channels it. And the wrong placement can amplify energy loss more than you'd ever guess. Energy doesn't need to scream to be heard. Most of the time, it simply fades. But when a home loses energy, the people in it begin to carry the weight. Quiet fatigue, missed opportunities, emotional distance. The house doesn't fall down, but it no longer lifts you up either. That's the first sign to look for, not what's broken, but what's missing. Not the mess, but the motion. If your home has stopped feeling like it breathes with you, it might not be time to buy a new sofa. It might be time to move the calendar. Part 2, the calendar, a silent drain or a secret switch. It's just a calendar, that's what most people think. A few numbers, a photo of a mountain or a puppy, a place to jot down appointments. It's harmless, passive, background noise on a wall you barely glance at until something feels off and you don't know why. You don't think to blame the calendar, but maybe you should. Because in the language of space and energy, a calendar isn't just a tool for tracking days. It's a visual anchor. A subtle but constant message to your brain about how time is passing in your life and where your focus lies. You look at it more often than you realize, and where it hangs matters more than most of us have been taught to believe. Imagine this, a calendar facing your bed. Every morning, your eyes open to the reality that another day has begun and is already slipping. You haven't stood up yet, but time is already counting down. That quiet sense of pressure may not be loud, but it builds. Over days, over months, over years. A low-grade hum of urgency that doesn't let you fully rest, even when you're asleep. And yet you can't put your finger on why rest never feels like restoration anymore. Or think about this, a calendar hanging beside your kitchen trash. You're tracking dates right next to what you discard, what you throw away, what you don't want to see again. And without realizing it, that's the message you're attaching to your days. That time is something you get rid of, that passes too fast, that feels like waste. No wonder your mornings feel rushed, your meals less satisfying, your conversations shorter than they used to be. And then there's the calendar near your front door. The first thing energy sees when it enters your home. If that calendar is the dominant object in the entryway, every moment you welcome in is instantly met with a reminder that time is slipping. This isn't poetry. It's how our nervous systems are wired. Visual cues carry emotional weight. Placement determines purpose. And when you place time, your most precious resource, next to symbols of loss, urgency, or chaos, your body picks up the message, even if your mind doesn't. That's why in energy-focused homes, the calendar isn't just hung. It's chosen, placed with intent, positioned with care. Because when done right, it becomes a kind of silent switch, a way to reset rhythm, open flow, and remind the household that life can move with calm, not chase. It's not magic. It's pattern recognition refined over generations. Let's pause here. Ask yourself, where's your calendar right now? What's it next to? Is it straight or tilted? Is it on a wall you actually look at or one that feels forgotten? These details may seem small, but small things direct big flows, and in the case of energy, they can turn your house into either a battery or a slow leak. When a calendar is placed well, it helps time feel like an ally. You check it with clarity, not dread. You plan things that excite you, not just deadlines. You feel a rhythm between your day-to-day life and your inner pace. But when a calendar is poorly placed, it acts like a drain. You don't know why you feel behind, why your to-do list keeps growing, why nothing seems to stick. It's not just the calendar's fault, it's what the calendar is signaling silently every time you walk by. And here's something deeper. The calendar doesn't just affect productivity. It shapes how your home holds emotional time. Think about your living room. If the calendar is the first thing guests see, what are you inviting them to notice? Structure, stress, a reminder of responsibilities. Wouldn't you rather they felt welcomed by warmth, light, intention, or your workspace? If the calendar sits directly in front of you at your desk, glaring like a judge, it can make every hour feel like a verdict. But shift it slightly to the side, within reach but not in the way, and suddenly it becomes a quiet partner. A tool you reach for, not one looming over you. And when the calendar lives in harmony with its space, something subtle but real begins to happen. Days feel longer, but in a good way. Meals stretch. Conversations deepen. You notice light more. You begin to experience time instead of chase it. That's not superstition. That's environmental awareness. And when that awareness becomes habit, your home starts to breathe again. What you're doing really is rewiring the emotional map of your space. You're saying, I respect time. I want to live it, not race through it, and I want every part of my home to reflect that. The calendar becomes a symbol of choice, not control, a visual rhythm, not a countdown clock. And when the energy in your home aligns with your values, presence, calm, flow, everything softens. You argue less, sleep more, spend better. Not because the calendar made you rich or lucky, but because it stopped draining you. And when you're not leaking energy, you make better decisions. You feel steadier, you become magnetic to what matters. So here's the truth. The calendar is never just a calendar. It's a message. The only question is, what is it telling you? And if you don't like the answer, maybe it's time to move it. Not just on the wall, but in your life. Part 3. 3 power spots to place your calendar and revive your home. Number 1. Living room wall where light meets presence. Not all walls are the same. Some hold memories, others hold tension, but a few, just a few, can hold time. And when you place your calendar on the right wall in the living room, something quietly shifts. Because you're not just choosing a surface. You're choosing a direction for how your home feels time, how it breathes it, how it shares it. The living room is more than a space to sit. It's where energy gathers, overlaps, and multiplies. It's where family voices mix, where friends laugh, where light lands most naturally. It's the first place energy flows through after entering your home, and often the last place you look before going to bed. That's why in many homes this room becomes the emotional thermostat. It either radiates warmth or it echoes silence. And in that delicate balance, the wall you choose for your calendar becomes either a quiet amplifier or a subtle disruptor. You want your calendar to land where the room feels most alive. The wall that greets people, not hides behind them. The place that catches natural light, where glancing toward it feels casual, not forced. You want it at eye level, not above, not below, so it meets your awareness without demanding it. Because this is the moment most people miss. A calendar on the right wall doesn't just look better. It becomes part of the room's pulse. People look at it without realizing. Kids track their days, guests glance at it in passing. It holds rhythm without imposing it. And the more present it becomes, the more it begins to shape how time feels in that room. Think about the alternative. A calendar stuck behind a couch, low to the floor, or in a forgotten corner. It's not just hard to reach, it's hard to remember. It creates the feeling that time is out of sync, that the structure of the day is slipping quietly through cracks in the space. And over time, the room starts to feel disconnected from the life being lived inside it. That's the drain. That's how slow stagnation begins. Now picture the opposite. A well-lit wall, soft morning sun landing on the calendar without glare. A frame or pin that holds it steady, no tape curling, no corners folded. The dates are clear. The paper isn't warped. The whole piece gives off the feeling of being in rhythm, not rushed, not messy, just aware. That wall becomes a subtle center point, a kind of invisible clock, not measuring hours but presence. This matters more than it seems, because when a room carries presence, people linger longer, conversations stretch, laughter loops, meals take their time. No one's looking at the actual calendar, but its energy is felt. That is how atmosphere is created, not by what's seen, but by what's sensed over and over again. And yes, you can feel the difference. Homes where the calendar is placed thoughtfully in the living room tend to have a steadier emotional tone. Days feel less scrambled. People tend to plan together more, meals, outings, even just weekends. There's a quiet sense that time is a shared rhythm, not a personal stressor. And in a world that pushes urgency in every direction, that feeling of shared pace is a radical kind of peace. But let's get practical for a moment. If your living room doesn't have an open wall, or your layout feels tight, don't panic. The rule isn't perfection, it's presence. Can you move a small shelf or art piece to make space? Can you shift the calendar closer to the kitchen threshold where family passes through most often? The goal isn't to create a design showroom, it's to restore connection, to make time feel visible and kind again. And while you're placing it, notice the light. Natural light energizes the wall. Soft bulbs with warm tone are fine too. What matters is avoiding harshness. No flickering fluorescence, no cold LED glare. Just something that lets the calendar be seen clearly without feeling exposed. Because remember, you're not just illuminating dates, you're illuminating awareness. Another tip, avoid placing the calendar too close to the television or entertainment center. You don't want the rhythm of time competing with the rhythm of distraction. Let the calendar live where the energy gathers, not where it scatters. That's why some people find the wall near a bookcase or fireplace to be ideal, places where attention softens and the eye lingers naturally. And don't forget texture. The wall behind your calendar matters too. A smooth painted surface is best. Avoid wallpaper that's too busy or dark tones that make the calendar feel heavy. If the wall itself feels calm, the calendar enhances it. If the wall feels cluttered, the calendar disappears, or worse, adds to the chaos. So in the end, this isn't about decor. It's about alignment. The calendar on the living room wall is not just about where to put paper. It's about where you place the idea of time in your home. Is time a stressor or a flow? Is it something everyone avoids or a rhythm everyone feels supported by? And when you find the right wall, you'll know, because the space feels lighter. The conversations go longer, and something small inside you says, this is the right pace. That's not a coincidence. That's your home adjusting back into harmony. Because when time hangs in the right place, life follows. Number 2, next to the dining table. Some of the most meaningful moments in a home happen while no one's looking. Not during holidays or big events, but in the quiet repetition of dinners shared, stories passed around between bites, schedules discussed over coffee. The dining table isn't just where we eat, it's where time gets translated into connection. That's why placing a calendar near the dining area isn't just practical, it's powerful. Unlike a bedroom or home office, the dining space is where time intersects with family rhythm. It's where plans turn into action, where what's happening this week becomes a conversation, not a calendar alert on a phone. When you hang a calendar near the table, not directly above but nearby, where it's visible without dominating, you're anchoring your household's sense of time to a moment of togetherness. And that does something subtle but profound to how people relate to each other. Imagine this, everyone sitting down, passing plates, and someone glances at the calendar. Isn't your dentist appointment this Thursday? Didn't we say we'd host Sunday brunch? The calendar becomes a shared focal point, not a reminder of pressure, but a gateway to dialogue. When time is made visible near food and conversation, it becomes warmer, more flexible. It stops being something we chase and becomes something we shape. This works especially well in American homes, where mealtime is often the only consistent check-in. Between school drop-offs, work meetings, and streaming shows in separate rooms, the dining table is one of the last analog rituals we still keep. So placing a calendar in that sacred circle of interaction turns it into more than a planner. It becomes a silent moderator, bringing structure without tension and grounding schedules in something real. But let's be clear, this doesn't mean slapping a wall calendar next to the toaster. It means choosing that space with care. The wall next to the dining area should be calm, clean, and lightly used, not cluttered with mail or to-do lists. Let the calendar breathe. Let it have its own space, like a guest who doesn't interrupt but always contributes. A small shelf below it for pens and notes or a cork strip for reminders can enhance its role as a living, breathing piece of household rhythm. And the type of calendar matters too. In this space, go for one that matches the tone of your home. Muted tones, clear fonts, imagery that supports calm or seasonal awareness. Avoid joke calendars or overly busy designs. The goal is not to entertain, it's to support flow. This is where your family sees birthdays coming, schedules car maintenance, plans a weekend trip. It doesn't need to be loud, it needs to be reliable. One of the most overlooked emotional dynamics in American homes is how often time becomes a source of conflict. I told you about that meeting. We already have plans that day. These are not schedule issues. They are alignment issues. They happen when time lives in devices, not in shared space. But when the calendar is visible to everyone, especially in a neutral zone like the dining table, it becomes a tool for harmony. No more surprises, no more blame, just clarity. There's also something deeply grounding about anchoring future plans in a place where the present is being nourished. You're eating, laughing, checking in, and there's the calendar. It reminds everyone that life isn't just what's happening now, it's what's coming. But it does so gently without screens or alerts in the same space where gratitude and presence already exist. This placement can be especially helpful for families with kids. It teaches them visually how time is structured, what's coming next, when special days land. It builds emotional preparedness and a sense of belonging. They don't just hear about schedules, they see them. They begin to participate, and in that participation they feel included, empowered. Now let's talk about light. If your dining area gets natural light, make sure the calendar is in a spot that avoids glare but stays visible. Morning light, even better. Time and light are intertwined energetically. A calendar that catches soft sun suggests beginnings, movement, quiet motivation. Even in the middle of a tired week, that simple alignment, light on time, can reset your mood. Placement matters. Avoid putting it right above a heat source, near a sink, or against a wall that carries chaotic energy like a busy fridge or recycling bin. You want the calendar to be a moment of calm. Let it live on a wall that feels grounded, and always keep it updated. A calendar with old dates or missing pages sends the exact opposite message. It says, "We're not paying attention." And over time, that creates emotional disconnection, not just from time, but from each other. The beauty of placing your calendar next to the dining table is that it turns the abstract into the intimate. Time becomes a companion, not a controller. It stops hovering in the background and starts participating in your life. That's how you build homes that feel aligned, not just clean or stylish, but aware. Aware of what's happening, what's coming, and how everyone plays a part. Because when you place your calendar near the table where people gather, what you're really saying is, this household moves together. We don't just react to time, we create it. We plan it. We live it as a unit. And in a world that increasingly pushes us into our own screens and silos, that kind of visible, shared timekeeping is not just helpful, it's healing. Number 3, beside your desk, never directly in front. Workspaces carry a specific kind of energy, focused, intentional, often under pressure. And in American homes, where rooms must multitask as offices, studios, and corners of ambition, the home desk becomes more than just a place to get things done. It becomes the energetic center of personal growth, creative output, and mental discipline. That's exactly why the placement of your calendar in this space matters. More than decor, more than function, where you place your calendar near your desk can influence not just how you work, but how you feel about time itself. Here's what most people do without thinking. They hang the calendar directly in front of their desk. Centered, eye level, right above the monitor or notepad as if it's a boss watching over them. It feels efficient, direct, unavoidable, but it's also subtly stressful. When a calendar lives directly in your line of sight, it sends a message that time is watching you, that you're being timed, measured, judged by the clock. The result? A quiet sense of performance anxiety even when no one else is around. You may not name it that way. You may say, I just feel behind, or I keep checking the days like I'm late for something. But what's really happening is that time has become a pressure point, not a flow. That's why the ideal placement for a calendar in your workspace is beside you, not in front, slightly off to the right or left, within reach, visible but not demanding attention. It becomes a companion, not a supervisor. Something you consult, not something that looms. This subtle shift changes the emotional tone of your work. Instead of feeling chased by deadlines, you feel supported by structure. Instead of racing against the month, you engage with it. Imagine sitting at your desk, writing, reading, thinking. And when you need to check a date, you gently turn your head, glance and return. That movement, the turn, the look, the return, is powerful. It builds intentionality. You're not constantly scanning time like a countdown. You're choosing to interact with it. That alone can reduce decision fatigue, relieve subtle mental pressure, and increase emotional clarity around tasks. And let's talk about design. In a home office or work corner, the visual field matters. Too many shapes, colors, reminders, and lists can overwhelm the mind. A calendar directly in front becomes one more layer of noise, adding to the mental pileup. But when it sits beside you, calm, minimal, and well-placed, it becomes part of your rhythm. A cue, not a command. This matters even more if you work from home. The boundary between home and work is already thin, and the desk often becomes an energetic blend of responsibilities, goals, worries, and unfinished lists. Placing your calendar beside, not in front, creates a boundary that says, time is here to guide you, not pressure you. It becomes your tool again, not your overseer. There's also a deeper psychological layer at play. When we place time directly in front of us, we unconsciously place the future directly in front of us too. Which means every time you sit down, you're staring into what you haven't done yet. That creates a subtle resistance to starting anything. You feel overwhelmed before you even begin. But when time sits beside you, the future becomes something you walk toward, not something staring you down. That simple shift can turn procrastination into flow. Let's not forget the physical aspect. Turning your head slightly to check the calendar engages your body in a small, intentional movement. And in energy terms, movement breaks stagnation. That means even the act of looking at the date becomes a micro-reset, especially important during long hours of screen work. It interrupts the trance of sitting still and reconnects your awareness with your physical environment. Now, consider lighting. Your calendar should be placed where it's lit softly, not backlit, not under a harsh bulb, and not lost in shadow. A calendar in dim light becomes visually heavy, creating drag on your perception of time. But one that's gently lit feels approachable, clear, uncluttered. It invites engagement, not avoidance. What about what kind of calendar to use? In your workspace, digital calendars dominate, but having a physical one, weekly, monthly, even a clean visual planner, grounds you in real time. It gives your eyes a break from screens. It makes planning feel tactile. That tactile presence of time reduces digital overwhelm and brings you back to your physical body, your breath, your pace, your real hours. And placement doesn't have to be rigid. Some people use clipboards, others use a wall-mounted dry erase board. What matters is its location, beside you, never over you. Its energy, steady, not chaotic. Its tone, neutral, not noisy. Choose colors that match your workspace energy. Muted tones, clean lines, layouts that breathe. Your desk is a place of output. Your calendar should support, not compete. When this is done well, something subtle happens. You stop feeling like you're behind. You begin to trust your own timing. You notice flow. You reach for the calendar with purpose, not out of panic. And that in turn changes how you work, not faster, but deeper, more in tune, less scattered, more grounded. Because in the end, it's not just about where your calendar sits. It's about where time sits in your mind. When you place it beside you, not in front, it means you're not surrendering to time. You're walking with it. That changes everything. Part 4. Turning your calendar into a Feng Shui activator. Most people use calendars as reminders, a place to note appointments, birthdays, deadlines. But in Feng Shui, a calendar is not just a passive object. It's a living symbol of how you relate to time. It carries rhythm, flow, and the energy of what's next. And when placed and treated with care, it becomes something much more powerful than a wall tool. It becomes a quiet activator for your home's energy, your personal momentum, and your inner alignment. Let's begin with timing. When you change your calendar matters. It's not just about flipping a page or buying a new one when the year starts. In energy work, the moment of transition is key. The ideal time to hang a new calendar isn't sometime mid-month or when you remember. It's on a pivot point, the very first day of the year, the first day of a new month, or the morning of a fresh week. These aren't just days, they are doorways. They carry a frequency of beginnings. By aligning your calendar change with these moments, you're syncing your intention with the natural pulse of time itself. But what about removing the old one? That's a ritual too. Don't just rip it down and toss it in the trash like expired coupons. Fold it, thank it. It has held your days. It witnessed your wins, your messes, your quiet routines. The act of releasing a calendar with intention tells your home and your mind that you're closing a cycle with awareness, that you're not dragging last month's energy into this one, that you're ready for a reset. Now let's talk about the calendar's face, what you see day after day. In Feng Shui, images are not decorative. They are communicative. They send messages to your subconscious every time your eyes land on them. That's why choosing a calendar with supportive imagery is crucial. Don't just grab one with cute animals or random quotes because it was on sale. Choose visuals that uplift and balance you. For example, if your energy feels scattered or constantly rushed, avoid chaotic designs or loud colors. Instead, go for calm, open imagery like nature, landscapes, quiet skies. If you feel stuck or low energy, try imagery with gentle movement, waterfalls, flowing fields, subtle light. If you're building confidence, choose images with upward movement, mountains, sunrises, tall trees. These may sound poetic, but their effect is deeply practical. Because energy begins in the nervous system, and your nervous system responds first to what it sees. And what about color? Feng Shui uses color not just for aesthetics, but for energy correction. Earth tones like beige, soft yellows, and warm browns support stability and grounding. Blues and greens help with flow, calm, and adaptability. Red is motivating, but should be used with care in homes already filled with noise or intensity. White and metallics support clarity and focus. The best choice. The color that balances what your home needs most. Not your favorite shade, but the one that brings harmony where there's imbalance. Once you've chosen the right calendar, it's time to place it with intention. And here's a detail most people miss. Never nail it into the wall. Drilling holes creates micro-tears in the energy field of your space. In Feng Shui, holes in the wall equals leaks in energy. A nailed calendar, especially if slightly crooked or sagging, can subconsciously feel like time is falling apart. Instead, use adhesive hooks or elegant strings, something that holds without piercing. Your calendar should float, not hang heavy. Make sure it's aligned. A tilted calendar sends the message of being off balance. Too high or too low can either overwhelm or drag down energy. The perfect spot, slightly above eye level, where you naturally lift your gaze, because how you look at time matters. If you're always looking down at it, your energy lowers. If you raise your eyes, you lift your perspective. It sounds small, it's not. And keep it clean. A dusty calendar, stained corners, scribbled over days, that's not just clutter, it's visual confusion. Keep your calendar crisp, updated, and cleared of unnecessary chaos. You're not just organizing paper, you're protecting the clarity of your life rhythm. Another practice to consider: daily or weekly engagement. Don't just let the calendar sit there as a visual afterthought. Touch it, flip it, circle dates with purpose, write small intentions, let your interaction with time be tactile. When your body participates in time, not just your mind, it becomes easier to follow through on what matters. Lastly, let your calendar reflect who you are becoming, not just who you've been. Include reminders of joy, of growth. Plan rest with the same weight as responsibility. Mark anniversaries of things you're proud of, not just things you have to do. The more your calendar reflects your values, the more it supports your energy. Because in the end, the calendar isn't the activator. You are. The calendar is just the bridge, a mirror, a quiet rhythm keeper on the wall that says, "Here's where you are, here's what's next, let's move through it together." When treated this way, a calendar no longer ticks away your life, it holds it, steadily, softly, in flow. So many things in life feel out of our control. The economy, the news, the clock. And yet what we've explored today reminds us that even in a world that moves fast, there are still quiet places where we can make powerful changes. Your calendar, that simple object on your wall, is one of them. It's not just about dates or deadlines. It's about presence. It's about rhythm. It's about how your home holds your time, your energy, and your emotional weather. When you move a calendar, you shift the way time enters your space. When you place it beside your desk, not in front, you shift how pressure lands on your shoulders. When you hang it near the dining table, you create shared time. And when you anchor it on the right wall with the right light, you remind your whole home to breathe again. That's not magic. That's design. That's psychology. That's energy awareness. You don't have to believe in ancient wisdom to feel the difference when a space is in rhythm. You feel it in your body. You hear it in the tone of conversations. You see it in how your mornings begin and how your evenings end. So if something in your home has felt a little stuck lately, if your energy has felt thin, or if time itself has started to feel like something that happens to you instead of with you, maybe this is where you begin. With a wall, with a calendar, with a small shift that holds a deeper invitation. Thank you for spending this time with me, truly. I know your attention is precious, and I hope this time together didn't just offer tips, but gave you a reason to pause, to look around your space and ask, what is this home saying back to me? Whatever you're stepping into this month, I hope it brings clarity. I hope it brings softness. And most of all, I hope time begins to feel like a companion again. Take good care, and I'll see you in the next moment that matters.